We only have like 4 students in the class, so we were not able to do a huge production. But the kids have been working very hard with some monologues from Shakespeare. So I hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes how they perform. They work on it all semester long. So, you know, hats to them because I studied Shakespeare when I was in college and it was hard, the vocabulary. So I know they have done very well, very well. So if you guys enjoy the next 30 minutes, we're ready.
My name is Emma Soden. I am performing Jock from As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits, and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even from the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and lined, with eye severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big, manly voice, turning again towards the childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Woo! I'm Lillian Hepler and I'm performing Macbeth from Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 2. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not yet. I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade dungeon goats of blood, which is not so before, there is no such thing. Mine eyes are made the fools of other senses, and now o'er the one half world, nature seems dead. Wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarmed by Sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch, and thus, with his stealthy pace, moves towards his design like a ghost. Thou sure firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time that suits with it. While I threat he lives, heat to the words too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that sends you to heaven or to hell.
I am performing Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1, as Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question. whether one should bear the whips and scorns of time, or should make it against a sea of trouble, to die, to sleep no more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache, the thousand natural shocks that the flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Ah! There's the rub! For let's think of what dreams may come once we've shivered off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrongs, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the insolence of office, the law's delay, or the patient mirth that the unworthy takes when he himself might make coyness with the very bodkin? Who would further's bear to grunt and sweat under real life? But that, the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, houses the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly after others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is slicked o'er with the pale cast of thought. And with the enterprise of great pitch and moment their currents turn awry and lose thy aim of action. Soften now thy fair Ophelia, nymph in thy Osiris. Be all my sins remembered.
I'm Sky Hobbs, performing as Juliet from Romeo and Juliet, Scene 2, Act 3. Oh, gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a Wagner, as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring a cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink. And Romeo, leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Oh, come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron, all dressed in black. Think, true love, act as simple modesty. Oh, come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt fly upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. Oh, come, gentle night, come, loving, black-brown night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out into little stars, and he'll make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garrulous sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, and yet not possessed it. So tedious is this day, as it is some night before some festival. To an impatient child that hath the robes and may not wear them.
Performing Viola from the 12th Night, Act 2, Scene 2. I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me, indeed, so much that meet her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak and starts distractedly. She loves me. Sure, the cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's a ring, why he sent her none. Ay, man, if it be so as 'tis, poor lady, she were but a loved dream. How easy is it for the proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms? Alas, frailty is the cause, not we, for such as we are made of, such we be. Disguise, I see their auto wickedness, wherein the pregnant enemy does much. What will become of this as I am man, as I am woman, alas the day. What poor sighs shall Olivia breathe? O time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie.
I'm performing as Juliet from Romeo and Juliet, Scene 2, Act 3. Shall I speak ill of him? That is my husband. Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name? When I, thy hero's wife, have mangled it. But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native springs. Your tributary drops belong to woe, but you, mistaken it, offer up the joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then. Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damn guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo vanished. That vanished. That one word, vanished, has slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Or if sour woe delights in fellowship, it'll be neatly writ with other griefs. But why follow not when she said, Tybalt's dead? Is thy father, or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentation might have moved? But with the rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. Speak that word. Is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure, bound, and that word's death. The words can now will sound.
Act 1, Scene 4, Romeo and Juliet, Mercutio. Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife who comes in shape no larger than an agate stone, on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn by a team of little atomies over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes of long spinner's legs, her covers of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bones, the lash, the film, her Wagner, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid, her chariot, an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. Time out of mind to the fairy's coachmakers, and in the state she gallops night by night, through lovers' brains who then dream of love, or courters' knees who dream on curtsy straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dreams. Yet then comes the angry mad with blisters plagues because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she dreadeth under a courter's nose, and then dreams he of smelling on a suit, and sometimes comes she with a fife pig's tail tickling a person's nose as they lie asleep. and then dreams he of another Benefier's. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, and then the anon drums in his ear, which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is the very mad that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs that once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag that when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she!
I'm playing Phoebe from As You Like It, Act 3, Scene 5. Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The only thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and mangled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not nor hate him not, and yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black, and now I am remembering, scorned at me. I marveled why I answered not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Thank you so very much for coming, guys, to see your kids perform. I think they did a great job.
They did amazing.